Hi, I'm Benny from German Gypsies, and today I want to share my personal driving experience with the Continental TKC70 and the 70 Rocks. What I really want to mention before I'm going to start with the review is that this review is based on my personal driving style and also my driving setup on the bike. I just want to help you to get a short overview and also if this tire fits to your demands. Anyway, let me start with some hard facts. Some guys of you will already noticed it. These tires are very different. If you have a closer look at the outside of the tire, you will see they're a bit similar, but the inside of the tire is completely different to each other. On the Rocks, Continental left out the continuous center bar, so there's much more space between the knobbies, which cause a lot of more traction off-road. And also this tire is for sure more an off-road tire than the normal TKC70. If you're living in Germany and you're now worried, oh, the police will get me and bust me and my bike is away and I have to pay a lot of money, no worries. This is totally legal to drive this combination of tires. Sure, there are limitations with this tire combination, but the real limitation comes with the front tire, the normal TKC70 one, as this one is more an 80-20 tire and it's very slippery in wet off-road conditions like mud and wet sand. The rear one is really good in light mud situations, but it's also not in 100% off-road tires, so we shouldn't forget this combination is still a hybrid tire combination. Another thing I talked about these days with a friend was the trust you have to grow in a completely new tire. To be honest here, I felt a bit hard to directly trust the tires as the first ride with the TKC70 were on the highway and the tires get a bit unstable, or the whole bike gets a bit unstable and the vibration on the handlebar is noticeable at the speed over 140 kilometers. So I got into my mind, do they also get unstable on curvy roads? But after our 3 days ride to the Black Forest and I drove the first Serpentines, I directly lost that feeling as the grip and also the stability in high leaning and in curves is amazing good. It's nearly comparable to the TrailerTech 3, and for everyone who drove the TrailerTech 3 once or heard about them knows what that means. So the purpose for me to buy this combination again is if I go on a longer tour with on and off-road parts, on-road parts like a lot of serpentines and curvy roads, but also off-road part, lighter off-road part, like the old military streets in Italy. It's a perfect tire combination. But if I go just on an on-road tour, I will definitely try out the normal TKC70 in the rear, as I think there's a lot of more durability here. The Rocks just had a durability of 5,500 kilometers. So as we promised you on Instagram, we're gonna answer your questions. We're gonna start with the first question. The first question is by Roy Calls Me. Alex, greetings to Austria. I hope you're good again. Your question was the Lenkers vibration. I think you mean here the handlebar vibration. Like I talked about before, the handlebar vibration is just above this 140 kilometers per hour. Don't worry. I think in the most countries it's also forbidden to drive above 140 kilometers, and also for me, I don't care as I try to not drive too much on the highway. The next question was by a couple of twins, and this question came a few times. A couple of twins asked us, how does the handle wet performance? To be honest, I never drove curvy roads or serpentines on a wet street, but I drove them one time on a heavy rain on the highway, and here they performed really good. as I didn't drove over this 140 kilometers per hour. So I think they also doing very good on wet streets. And I also heard about the wet performance should be very good on them. Another question was by SMP 957, der Hundling, fragte, gibt's den auch in anderen Farben? Schwarz hat doch jeder. Du Trottel, was glaubst denn du eigentlich, dass Continental für dich einen rosanen Reifen macht, oder was? So another question was by I'm No God 7. He asked us on-road stability of the Continental tires. So like I said in the video, I drove already the Trailer Kick 3, I drove the TKC70 and the rocks in the rear one, and I just mounted the TKC80. And to be honest, I really love Continental tires as the grip is always really good. And this is the last question I'm gonna answer. It's from Africa Twin Riders. Does off-road tires reduce bike stability in corners? So I just said it. I mounted the TKC80 and I drove them now about 300 kilometers, and I'm gonna do another review for sure of them. And what I can say is there is a much difference between off-road tires. As I drove the Mitas E09 and the E10, they were a bit shaky, and I felt like driving a ship into a harbor on curvy roads. But I think this is a good question for the next review, which will come soon.